What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout, and today I am giving you the ultimate Vegeta starter deck review. If you're someone who's thinking, hey, should I buy this deck or should I pass? What's even in this product? If you have these questions, especially if you're a new player, this is the video for you. But before we begin this video is brought to you by us, by Zenkai Showdown 2, 22nd of April. It's our event. It's going to be one of the biggest ones in Europe. We have the best prizes and we still have tickets. So if you want to participate, go check out. The link is in the description below. Now, roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So in this video, I'll go over the product breakdown, new cards, decklist. We don't have decklist released yet, but you will see how many copies of what you will be getting. I'll show you reprints, and finally I'll give it a final grade and a summary. Let's go. Let's start off with some basic product information. This is a 51 card yellow deck which comes with a full Z deck of 7 cards, 6 battle cards and 1 Z leader. You also get a playsheet and you get a rule manual. The cost of this product is $16 or euros. That's the MSRP listed on the official website. The release date is tomorrow, March 17th. However, some regions, some stores may get it later, some may already have it. It's a distribution thing. But the official release date is the 17th of March. And finally, most importantly, if you're looking to buy this product, this deck is playable out of the box and it's fully tournament legal. So if you're going to, your first tournament at your LGS, you buy this deck, you can play it immediately. That's like the big crucial thing. Important, this deck does not come with 4 copies of each card. Keep this in mind. In Dragon Ball Super card game, you can play up to 4 copies of any non-leader card. This deck doesn't come with full playsets, aka 4 copies of all cards. So if you want playsets, you need to buy 2 copies of this deck. Like, this is the standard practice for Dragon Ball Super card game. If you want full playsets of new cards, of everything in the deck, you need to buy 2 copies. We have a lot of cards to go through, so let's start by introducing you to your leader, Vegeta, who later becomes Majin Vegeta. Let's go over what our leader does, because our leader is the face of our deck. It's the most important card, and luckily Vegeta is fairly straightforward and easy to pilot. You want to get to 3 lives as soon as possible, and the awakened side allows you to get there very fast on your own terms. You have this activate battle ability, which says when you're in combat, basically you can use it once and then you can grab a life. So you are controlling how fast you get to 3 lives, because once you get to 3 lives, you can Z awaken. I'll explain that very shortly. The playstyle is a bit risky, as you will be burning for your own lives very fast, but you're sacrificing lives for power. You're playing on a timer, which, thanks to your leader's activate battle ability, you can somewhat control and manipulate. Once you get to 3 lives, you can go into your Z leader. This card is your big payoff and your finisher. It is the reason why you play this deck. It's extremely powerful. You're basically sacrificing all but 1 life with his activate battle ability to give yourself a massive boost in power for 1 huge game-ending swing. However, because this is a very, very fragile ability, because if you don't win, you just lost. That's it, you're on 1 life. You will need to time this perfectly. You will have to use all of your skill to time this perfectly, but if you manage to connect with that 1 swing, you just win the game on the spot. And that's absolutely amazing. You're also getting a set of new cards. These cards are unique to this product. You can't get them anywhere else. I mean, you can buy them from the secondary market, but you can't open them anywhere else. The 3 cards on the left, you will be getting 2 copies of each. you want 4 copies of some of them, which is the reason why you need to buy 2 copies of this deck. For the cards to the right, you'll be getting 3 copies of each. You don't need more because these are your Z battle cards and you can only have 7 Z cards in your Z deck, so that's fine. Anyways, yeah, these are all of the new cards which are unique to this product. The rest of the deck is reprints, and you'll be getting between 4 to 2 copies of these reprints in the deck. So some of them will come as playsets immediately, some of them you'll be only getting 2 copies. A lot of these reprints are okay-ish. Okay, a lot of these reprints aren't really good, but there are some gems here. These are the only good reprints in the entire product. So there is not a lot of reprint value. There's actually very little reprint value here. Even these cards aren't worth anything, but they're pretty good staples. You're getting Time Magic, Frieza's Army Reinforcement. Every yellow deck is playing these. And then you get Sangoku Absolute Annihilation. You might play it in some yellow decks, you might not. But only these 3 cards are staples. Everything else is quite bad. It's actually bad when it comes to the rest of the deck. But you're getting some very important staples. Now let's ask ourselves one of the most important questions. Is this deck actually good? If you're considering buying it, you're probably wondering, is this product good? Well, the deck is playable right out of the box. Like I told you, right out of the box, this deck is completely playable, and that's always good. However, it isn't that good out of the box. It's really not that good out of the box. It's still playable though. New cards are very good, but there is very little synergy between them and the rest of the deck, which is a shame. There is a lot of potential here, but the rest of the deck outside of those brand new cards, which are unique to this deck, it's not good, unfortunately. The deck is still playable and you can have a lot of fun with it, which is probably the most important thing. Let's talk about upgrades. So, okay, we have concluded that the deck isn't the best out of the box. Can we upgrade it? Yes. Luckily, this leader is phenomenal and the deck itself is very upgradable. It works very well with the newest yellow cards from set 20. It doesn't work with everything, but there is a solid amount of new cards from the same set that this product is from that you can actually put into the deck, you know. There's a solid amount of those cards here. There is also a lot of customization here, and you can really build this deck to suit your own playstyle, which is great. Speaking of upgrades, here are our recommendations. So this is a good set of cards to get you started. And they are all super cheap. You have Flying Nimbus, you have the Krillin Super Combo, which is the staple Super Combo in yellow. Power of the Super Saiyan, you can play only 1 copy of this card. And then the last 2 cards are from set 20, so you might even open them. Yeah, these cards are super cheap and they are super easy to get. So you can probably get them from someone at your LGS, or you can just order them for pennies online, for cents. They really aren't worth anything, but they are very great for this deck and they are a very good starting point. Now comes the most important question, because I believe that a lot of new players will be watching this video. Is this deck good for new players? Yes, this deck is great for new players who are looking to try the game out. It's fairly cheap, it's highly customizable, it has decent reprints, and it contains all of the important mechanics from the modern Dragon Ball Super card game era. You have the Z deck, Z stack, Z leaders, you have basically everything here. If you are new to this game and you're looking for a good starting point, buy this deck. This deck is going to do wonders for you and, you know, for your ability to learn the game fairly quickly. It's an amazing starting point. Now comes my favorite part of the video, grading time. It's time to grade this product, and here are my criteria. We need to ask ourselves these questions. Does it do a good job in introducing new players to the game and explaining new mechanics? Does it contain relevant reprints? Is there a good synergy between new and old cards in this deck? How upgradeable / customizable is this deck? And finally, is the deck good out of the box? Okay, let's look at our criteria and come up with the final grade. So first off, does this deck do a good job at introducing new players to the game and explaining new mechanics? Yes, this deck actually does a phenomenal job at that, because its core focus is on your Z leader, which is one of the main mechanics of the current Dragon Ball era, like Z Awakening, Z Battle cards, but especially Z leaders. It also contains a unison. Unisons are also one of the cornerstones of the modern Dragon Ball era. All of these are super easy to explain. They have printed text on them explaining what's happening when you want to play them. And I believe that, yeah, it's pretty simple to pilot, so it does a good job at introducing new players to the game. Does it contain relevant reprints? Not really. Not really. I mean, it contains Time Magic and it contains Frieza's Army Reinforcement, which are amazing staples. It contains Absolute Annihilation, but not every deck plays that card. So when it comes to reprints, yeah, the problem is that a lot of other reprinted cards are just bad. And not just bad, they're horrible. Which leads me into the next question, which is there a good synergy between the new and the old cards? Not really. This deck barely has synergy with old cards and new cards. Like, it doesn't really work together. It doesn't, you know. So you're doing your own thing and then the rest of the deck is doing its own thing. It doesn't really work together, unfortunately. How upgradeable / customizable is the deck? The deck is highly customizable. There are multiple ways to build it. Though for doing this, you don't really need much from the deck. You just need your leader. And you take the staples, and then you can replace like 90% of the deck with something else. So, is it customizable? Well, you know, it's kind of toss-up. Is it really customization if you get rid of like 90% of the deck, you grab like 3 cards and build something next with them? Not super sold on that one, honestly. And this is mainly because the reprint package is so bad. And finally, is this deck good out of the box? Yes, you can play it out of the box. It's not very good, unfortunately, but it is playable. So how good is it? It's kind of middle ground. You can play with it, you can get some results with it, but it's not super good. And taking all of that into consideration, my final grade is 7 out of 10. I think that's a pretty fair grade for this deck. Like I said, the leader, phenomenal. Customizable, it's customizable if you consider taking apart like 90% of the deck as customization. But it has a lot of room for upgrades. It's very straightforward. Unfortunately, it's not the strongest deck. It's pretty weak on its own outside of the leader and the new cards. The reprints are not very good, but it does a good job at introducing new players to the game. So I think that a solid 7 out of 10 is a fair grade. Before we end the video, let's dive into the summary. So this is a very good starter deck for new players. For veterans, unfortunately, the deck offers a leader which could end up being meta relevant, but everything else is just bad. If you're a veteran, you get the leader, and that's it. Then the reprint quality is quite poor, unfortunately. There are only a few staples, and the rest is just deck filler that barely even works together. That's a very unfortunate point here. The deck does a great job at introducing new players and returning players to new mechanics, because there are some players who stopped before Zenkai series, and this deck does an amazing job in introducing them. Also keep in mind that this deck also comes with a rule manual, which is super helpful. So overall, I recommend buying this deck. I think this deck is pretty solid. I recommend that you go out and get this product. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, will you be buying this deck? I'm very interested to hear from new players. If you're a new player who stumbled upon this video, have I convinced you to buy or not to buy this deck? I'm super interested in hearing that. I'm also interested in hearing from you guys. Will you be building this leader? Are you interested in trying it out? We will have how to play guides later on the channel. So if you want to learn how to play this leader, and if you want to check out some lists, we will have them coming soon. But for now, hit that like and subscribe button, share the video, help us grow our community, and yeah, I'll be checking all of your comments. I read all of them, I try to respond to everything. I love our little community, and guys, until next time, this has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.